Welcome back to Precise Pilates Online. Term 2, we're beginning in this very cold and windy autumn day. So we're going to utilise our ball for our warm-up. You don't have to have this piece of equipment, you can do without. Standing upright on your mat, make sure that you're in your standing posture with your feet hip width and your knees soft. Now we're placing the pelvis directly over the foot here. We don't want to be sticking the bum out and back. Grabbing the ball in your hands or placing the hands on the side of your rib cage. Let's do a little bit of breathing focus. Resting the ball on the end of the sternum, relaxing the shoulders. Clasping the fingers widely around the surface of your ball. Now gentle in and out breath here. I want you to imagine that your fingers placed around the surface of the ball is your rib cage. And the soft squishy ball underneath them is your lung tissue. You're going to inhale. And imagine the ball is expanding into those spread fingers. On the exhale, utilizing the structure of your rib cage, sweep the ribs in and down, squeeze against the ball with your palms, and imagine that the air is expressed out of the lungs. Good, inhale. The ball expands just like the lung tissue. And on the exhale, the bones, the fingers, the rib cage, expresses the air out by squeezing the ball in and down. Lovely. Inhale deeply and exhale completely. Beautiful. Let's do 2. Inhale and exhale. Inhale deeply. Feel that ball, that lung tissue expand. Now on this exhale, as we squeeze against the surface of the ball, I want you to imagine you're now going to flatten your abdominals from hip bone to hip bone. As the ribs sweep in and down, we're also connecting to the front line of the obliques. And we should feel that as a unit we're switched on in our very deep center. Beautiful from this position. Relax the shoulders once more, roll the ball down, place it to the side of the thigh, press it between your thigh and your palm. Take a deep breath in, let's go for lateral flexion. Reach the ball on down, exhale. Imagine that you're closing one rib to hip, reaching the ball down to the side of the knee. The hips are staying stacked and level. Inhale, we come upright, ribs over hips. Stay on this one side. Exhale, reach on down to the side of the knee. Roll the ball down the side of the thigh. Coming into that nice bend from rib to hip on one side. Good, inhale, bring yourself upright. Let's do 4. Exhale, reach. Good, and inhale, lifting the sternum upright. Ribs back over hips. Exhale. One rib to hip is closing. Inhale. Lovely. Exhale, reach. Inhale, our last one here. On the exhale, reach the ball on down, roll it down the side of the thigh, close one rib to hip, and then on the inward breath, bring the ribs back over the hips, float the sternum. Place the ball now in your palm. We're going to go into a little bit of a side bend. So on your next exhale with the T-zone on, we float the ball on up. The palm is facing inwards. The ear is aligned to the forearm. On the exhale, we're now going to reach over the side of the body. So the side of the rib to hip that we were closing is now opening at the front line. We're keeping the hips stacked and level. One hand reaches down the side of the thigh to the knee. Good, inhale, bring yourself upright, draw the shoulder blade down. On the exhale, reach on up and over. Keeping the ribs drawing away from the hips on one side, the hip bones level. Good, inhale, let's do 4. Exhale, reach up and over to side bend. Good, inhale, draw the shoulder down from the ear, relax through the knees. Exhale over, inhale, ribs over hips. Lovely, one more, exhale, reach over. Good, inhale to center, hold the hand upright over the shoulder. Rotate the palm on out. Exhale, push down to the side of the thigh, squeeze the armpit shut. Lovely, we're now going to float the arm directly ahead. Inhale, we float the arm in line with the chest, reach it over the shoulder. Rotate the arm on out. Exhale, push down for your breaststroke arm. Good, inhale, float the arm on up to chest and directly over the shoulder. Rotate the palm on out, shoulder from the ear. Exhale, push down, squeeze the armpit shut. Beautiful, inhale, float directly overhead. Rotate the whole arm out from the shoulder. Exhale, push down. Lovely. 3 more. Inhale. Keeping the ribs slightly drawn to hips. Utilize the side of the rib cage. Inhale. And exhale. Last one. Inhale. Rotate the arm out from the shoulder. Exhale, push down, squeeze the armpit shut. Lovely, relax through that arm. Let's change sides. Placing the ball between the thigh and the palm. Take a deep breath in. Remembering that we're staying switched on through the center, and on the exhale, keeping the hips level, we reach down for lateral flexion. Rib to hip closing on one side. We might start to feel this side opening too. Inhale, bring the ribs over the hips. Good. Exhale, reach on down, lateral flexion. Good. Inhale to center. Imagine that you're rolling the ball down the side of the thigh as you exhale. Inhale. Lovely. 2 more. Exhale, reach on down. Inhale, keeping the hips level. Exhale. Good. Inhale to center. Ribs over hips. Place the ball in your palm now. Good. We're going to reach the ball on up directly overhead, aligned with the shoulder. Shoulder from the ear. Exhale, reach over the body now. Come into your side bend. The opposite arm reaches down to the side of the knee. Inhale, ribs over hips. Shoulder from the ear. Exhale, reach up and over. Opening up the side of the rib and hip on one side. Good. Inhale to center. Exhale, over. Inhale. Let's do 2. Exhale. Side bend. Inhale. Last one. Exhale, side bend. Inhale. Relax the arm down. Beautiful. From this point, let's go into our breaststroke arm. Remember that we float the arm directly overhead. We want the ribs to hips to stay connected in this movement. Rotate the arm out from the shoulder. Exhale, push down, squeeze the armpit shut. Good. Inhale, float the arm ahead and directly over the shoulder. Rotate the arm from the shoulder. Exhale, push down, squeeze the armpit shut. Inhale up, rotate out, exhale down. 3 more. Inhale, rotate, exhale, push down. Beautiful. Use the side of the rib cage. 1 more. Exhale. Beautiful. Place the ball between your VMO. If you don't have the ball, you can just be focusing on keeping the knees aligned at hip width. Now we want to make sure the knees are not falling in our squats. If you're not squatting, you can do calf raises from this position. Hands can be floating on your pelvis. Now you're going to take a nice soft breath in. We still want the T-zone working, so switch on if you switched off. Now we're going to push the bum back first. I'm hinging forwards from the hips, driving the bum back and down, coming into a nice squat, a hinge, a straight line from hip to shoulder, sorry. Pushing against the floor, exhale, push yourself upright, utilize your abdominals. Good, inhale at the top, push the bum back and down. As we drive down through the squat, we're going to take our breath in at the bottom. Push through the feet, activate the legs, exhale, scoop the abdominals, lift yourself upright. Good, inhale at the top, exhale to squat. Inhale here, exhale, push yourself on upright, utilize these abdominals. Lovely, inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale, push yourself on up. Let's do 4. Inhale at the top, exhale to come into the squat. Inhale here, exhale, utilize the legs and the core. Lovely. Two more. One more. Beautiful. Let's bring ourselves to the very end of the mat. Let's do some gentle rolling. Relax the shoulders. Float the sternum for your breath in. Keep the ball floating in the VMO if it helps. Drop the chin to the chest. Exhale, sinking the ribs towards the hips now. Allowing the head to roll in front of the chest. Keep the knees bent or soft. Exhale as you roll the head in front of the belt line. Allow the upper body to roll forwards and down. Arms are loose from the armpit joint, head heavy from the neck. Take your breath in at the bottom here. Push into those legs once more. Exhale, scoop through the abdominals. Start to stack the vertebrae on top of the pelvis. And then gently lift yourself up right through each vertebrae. Float the sternum, inhale at the top, chin to chest. Exhale, sink the ribs in and down. Now encourage the upper body to round forwards first. Keep the knees bent or soft as the head moves into the belt line. And as you sink the upper body forwards and down into your roll down, try to imagine that you're allowing the pelvis to gently tilt forwards. Take a breath in at the bottom. Exhale, pushing to switch the legs on through the heels, scooping the abdominals, thinking about the vertebrae coming upright one at a time. Don't rush the movement. As you stack the vertebrae tall, lift the sternum for your breath in. Let's do 2 more. Chin to chest. Exhale, sink the ribs to hips. Good. Now the ball is floating between the VMO. You're not squeezing or bursting it here. I want you to activate the legs, the musculature slings. Push against the heels. Start to switch on those abdominals. Deeper scoop as we roll ourselves back on up. A deep breath in at the top. Chin to chest. Exhale, sink and roll. Now I'm working really hard through the lower body as well as the core, particularly in the rolling up phase here as I start to stack the vertebrae tall. Now as you lift your sternum here, take a deep breath in. Keep that sensation of pushing against the ground. Beautiful. Arms by your sides. Let's do arm prep. Ribs are drawing to hips. We're gently going to exhale as we reach the arms on up, in line with the chest. Now as the arms start to float overhead in line with the shoulder, we want to draw the rib cage in and down. Good. Inhale, the arms come by our sides. Let's do 5 more. On the exhale, push against the ground through the legs. Keep the T-zone working. Float the arms in line with the chest. As you exhale to reach the arms overhead, sink the ribs in and down. Exhale. Inhale. 4 more. Exhale, arm prep. Ribs sink in and down as you reach the arms overhead. Good. Inhale, hands come back to the thighs. 3 more. Utilize the legs in this position. Make sure we're pushing away from the ground. We've got those slings connected to our mat switched on. 2 more. Exhale, arm prep. Sink the ribs in and down on that exhale. Inhale. Our last one. Exhale, arm prep. Inhale, arms come to the sides. Good, let's roll ourselves down. You can pop the ball on out. We'll get rid of that for now. Roll yourself to the mat gently. You can have a slightly bent knee position or more bend through the knees if the hamstrings are tight. We're coming down to the box position to begin with. We're going to warm up the chest and back a little bit more. Now I want you to think about a seesaw of balance between your pelvis and your lower back. You want to be in your box position, hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hip bones. And you want to utilize your T-zone to find a nice balance between the pelvis and the lower back. So at the moment you might feel like this, the pelvis is tilted forwards. Take a nice soft breath in, start to lift the pelvic floor and start to think about drawing the tailbone down. Shoulders glide from the ears. On the exhale, as you lift those abdominals off the mat and draw them inside the front of the pelvis, we think about floating the lumbar spine into a more neutral position. Beautiful. From here, we'll do our press up level 1 or 2. Hands are as wide as the mat. Shoulders are elongating down your back. Take a deep breath in, bending at the elbows, drop the nose down between the hands. Now these abdominals, exhale, scoop internally as we push our arms away from the ground to push the chest back on up. Inhale the nose down. Exhale, abdominals lift. Push against the ground, straighten the arms, bring the chest back on up. Good, inhale, nose down. Exhale, push, utilize those abdominals. Think about that seesaw, that balance point between your lower back and your pelvis. Now, if you'd like to work into level 2, by all means, you can have the hands slightly further forwards and incline through the body so that the chest is now between the hands, the head is in front of the fingers. Draw the shoulder blades down still. Inhale, the chest goes down. Exhale, we push off strong, extending the arms. Now the abdominals work a little bit harder in this position because we want to keep that nice incline with the tailbone drawn down, aligned from knee, hip and shoulder. We're working towards 10, so if you can't do 10 in your level 2 and you need to come back, walk the hands back to shoulder height. Remember the nose goes down between the hands for level 1. The chest down for level 2. Both utilize chest and back and abdominals. Good. Make this our last 2. Inhale down, exhale, push off strong, our last one. Inhale and exhale. Good. We're going to pull the buttocks back towards the heels for a rest. We can reach the arms forwards, drop the forehead, rest it onto the mat, relax through the neck here and take a deep breath in and out. Abdominals are softening, pelvic floor is softening between our heels. Beautiful. Once you've had enough of a rest, come back up to the box. Okay. We're going to work our swimming legs in this position, so we want to utilize that nice seesaw of balance once more. Take your inward breath, gently lift your pelvic floor and draw the tailbone softly down. Good, draw the shoulder blades down. On the exhale, lift the abdominals off the mat. Remember, then lifting is drawing inside the front of the pelvis, your two hip bones narrowing. Switching on that T-zone, take a deep breath in. Now we're going to start with our swimming leg here. On the exhale, we slide one leg on out across the mat. We're utilizing our connection through the front of our foot to find our way. Hips are staying level. Squeeze your glute to lengthen the leg. Inhale, slide the leg back on in. On the exhale, reach on out. Slide along the mat. Inhale in. Now check, are you having an equal transference of weight through your shoulders and palms? Do you find yourself toppling to one side to get the leg to slide on out? I want you to make your movements very precise. Keep the palms level, no shifting. If you're working very hardly and you want to take the leg away from the mat, you need to keep the balance through the arms, the shoulders and the palms. Squeeze the glute to lift the leg into leg extension from the mat. Good, inhale, slide back on in. There should be very minimal transference through the upper body and through that seesaw balance between the pelvis and the lower back. So if you find you're shuffling to one side, ask yourself, are you taking the leg more out to the side at a diagonal, or are you not utilizing the upper body? This 4-point kneeling position is all about the body aligned through the shoulders, the hips and the box. So you may need to work a little bit harder in this position to keep the body aligned, to keep the box intact. Let's make this our last one each side. Last one, slide it on out, exhale, squeezing the glute to lift the leg. Good, bring the foot back to the mat, take a deep breath in, shoot the bum back towards the heels or rest down on those bent forearms, take a little break. Beautiful. Let's move on to the stomach. Let's do our prone back series next. Come on down. Now as we rest the chest down completely, if you need to realign the head or neck by utilizing a rolled towel or pillow, you can do that here. My neck naturally likes to float my head from the mat, and if that's you and you don't have any tension in this position doing that, you can do so here. Turn the heels out, switch the glutes off. Now if you've got extra pressure between your hip bones on the mat, you can place the towel underneath those hips too. You want to think about that seesaw of balance in this position. So on your inward breath, think about that lift of pelvic floor and the soft draw down of the tailbone to float the pelvis more to neutral. On the exhale, as you lift the abdominals off the mat, draw them inside the front of the pelvis. The lumbar spine also wants to come into a more neutral position. Shoulders are away from the ears, starting with long arms, baby finger on the mat, thumb pointing upwards. We're going into overhead trapezius activation. So the shoulders begin nowhere from the ears. We're going to exhale as we glide the shoulder blades down our back, drawing into the waistline beneath the rib cage. Inhale, arms grow long from armpit to fingertip. Exhale, glide the shoulder blades down your back. Now this long arm drags your baby finger down the mat, shoulders drawing into that waistline beneath the rib cage. Inhale, the arms just grow long. We're not lifting the shoulders up to the ears. So try and keep the arms as long as you can. Try and set your focus on the drawdown of that bony structure, your shoulder girdle gliding down to your waist where there is no bones. Between your ribs and your hips, that soft midsection. We want to make sure we're able to connect to the upper trapezius without overstimulating our traps and getting any cervical spine tension that's really uncomfortable and limits the range of this trapezius. Let's make this our last one. On the exhale, glide the shoulder blades down the back. Now have a think about your T-zone, make sure it's still switched on. Rest your palms flat on the mat. And then on the next exhale, bending at the elbows, glide the hands down to face height for stop signs. Here you can have a little rest, soften that pelvic floor and abdominal connection. Make sure you switch it back on before you begin again. Looking with eyes and nose or resting them down on the mat here. Keep the neck aligned in neutral. Switching back onto T-zone and then take a breath in. Now on your next exhale, the movement gets larger. You're going to draw the shoulder girdle deeper down into that waistline, that soft midsection. Exhale, we're going to glide the shoulder blades down the back, drawing into the waistline beneath the rib cage. We're going to draw the elbows down towards the waist. Try and keep the forearm, that's elbow to fingertip, on the mat. Inhale, hands come back to face height. On the exhale, as we glide the shoulder blades down our back, we're drawing elbows down to that soft midsection, our waistline. Inhale, hands to face height. Good. Now, because this is a larger movement, I want you to check in with your T-zone, your lumbar spine, and your pelvis. Do you feel like you're tilting your pelvis forward slightly? Are you losing that nice, strong connection to the draw down of your tailbone, the seesaw of balance that your pelvic floor connection and your abdominals create? If this is you, switch off, switch back on and begin the exercise again. Make sure that the movement isn't subtracting from your T-zone activation. Good. Let's make this our last one. Let's hold the downward phase of the exercise. Keeping the T-zone working, we're going to float 1 or 2 palms from the mat for our breaststroke prep. Floating 1 or 2 arms, your decision. Keeping the neck lined in neutral, face looking down. Let's draw some circles, sweep the fingertips forwards. Don't lift your shoulder to your ear, don't shrug. Exhale, glide the shoulder blade down your back. Draw your elbow down to your waist to bring your palm down. Inhale, sweep fingertips forwards to the top half of the circle. Exhale, glide the shoulder blade down, elbows down into the back to draw the bottom half of your circle. Think about all of those points. T-zone, pelvic floor, a nice seesaw balance between the lower back and the tailbone. The shoulder blades gliding down on the exhale to initiate the palm gliding down. And also the neck tension. Are you looking into the mat? Do you need to rest the head fully onto the mat here? Do you need to bring the arms down to rest? Now, if you're utilizing one arm in this exercise, you can bring the arm down after a few circles and repeat on the opposite arm. Make sure that this motion isn't subtracting from the T-zone connection. We're working from a deeply rooted center. Let's have 2 more circles. Let's bring the palms back to the mat. Rest the forehead down, rest the chest down completely and have a rest. Beautiful. Let's bring ourselves up onto our forearms for our plank 1. Now in this position, gently draw your elbow just behind the front portion of your shoulder. Draw your shoulder blades down your back. You want to utilize this nice extension, but with that nice seesaw of balance once more. So if some of you feel like your tailbone is lifting up and you're really arching through the lumbar spine here, ask yourself if you're pushing off of the forearms and drawing the shoulder blades down. If you do so, it can be quite hard to find the upper body if you're utilizing the extension through your lower back. Make sure you're using the upper body. Stop signs on. Again, take a nice soft breath in and think about the lift of your pelvic floor, yes, and the soft draw down or elongating of your tailbone. On the exhale, as you lift the abdominals off the mat and draw them inside the front of the pelvis, we're looking to bring the lumbar spine more to neutral. We also want to feel those 2 hip bones are gently floating on the surface of your mat. You haven't lifted your pelvis off, but you've thought about that deep internal connection. Take a deep breath in and out. Think about if you'd like to hold for your 10 breaths here. You may choose to do so. If you want to move into your plank 2, draw the shoulder blades down. Think about the next exhale as being a deeper abdominal lift from the mat. You're going to push into your knees and your forearms. On the exhale, start to lift your pelvis from the mat, lifting it up roughly in line with the shoulders for your sushi table hold. Now think about the soft draw down of your tailbone on the inward breath and drawing the shoulder blades down, pushing off the forearms. On the exhale, lift the abdominals. Do you need to draw the lumbar spine softly into that nice neutral position by gliding the tailbone down? Breathe in and out deeply, counting your 10 breaths here in plank 2. Now shaking, unable to hold your positioning or losing that nice connection to a softly drawn down tailbone, abdominals and lumbar spine, may mean that you need to come back down to plank 1. It can be quite hard to be in this position if you've got a shoulder injury and you need to take some attention to your shoulders and your forearms. Draw the shoulder blades down, push off the forearms. The upper back and chest are working really hard. Once you've counted your 10 breaths, try and keep your connection on as you come back to the mat. Take a deep breath in, and on the exhale, gently return the pelvic bones back to the mat. That's the hip bones back down first. Draw the shoulder blades down, push off the forearms, come back to plank 2 with the connection on. Take a deep breath in and out. Soften by releasing the chest forwards and down, unfolding through the arms and resting the head down for a nice rest. Beautiful, nice work. Let's finish with some lovely freestyle arms, yay! So in this position, we can turn the heels back on it. We want the glutes to be off. We're going to extend the arms fully overhead. We want to make sure we're resting the palms flat on the mat. Shoulders draw down from the ears. Again, if you need to pop the forehead onto the rolled towel or pillow to take some weight off of the cervical spine, by all means. If your forehead wants to float, please don't strain through your upper traps or your cervical neck extensors. You're going to switch back onto the T-zone, and I suggest the same amount as your plank 1 or your plank 2. Inhale, lift the pelvic floor, softly draw the tailbone down. On the exhale, as you lift the abdominals off the mat, the 2 hip bones are narrowing at the front of the pelvis. They're nice and light, touching on the surface of the mat, and you've drawn the lumbar spine more into a neutral position. We're going to work through the upper body. In order to do so, you're going to draw the ribs down towards the hips to anchor them into the mat, and really press your legs to switch them on into the mat also. Take a deep breath in, and on the exhale, float one arm from the mat. Draw the shoulder blade down, don't encourage your shrugging here. Now as you bring the hand back down to the mat, float the opposite arm. Press the thighs into the mat, the rib cage down. Hand comes down, exhale, float the other arm. Inhale, pause. Exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale, draw the shoulder blade down to lift the hand. Push the opposite arm into the mat, utilize the thighs and the ribs. Good, inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Now, if you're able to, you can move this arm pattern into a 3-breath move. That means that 1 breath in is 3 taps. 1 breath out is 3 taps. Or you could be utilizing that breath in hold, the exhale to exchange. Shoulders down, don't shrug. Ribs drawn into the hips and into the mat. Thighs pressed into the mat. As you push one hand down, you should be able to utilize the other arm to lift. Now your freestyle arm is all about the upper back, and we want the upper fiber of the trapezius working strongly. Don't strain your neck, rest it onto the towel pillow if you need. Let's make this our last one. Either your 3 breaths for 3 taps for a breath in, 3 taps for a breath out, or your last breath in, hold, exhale, tap, and return the arms to the mat. Beautiful. Soften and release everything here. Slide the hands down to chest height. Push your chest off, round your upper back. Draw your buttocks back towards your heels, reach your hands forwards, rest the forehead onto the mat. A nice child's pose position with that rounded back position. Take a deep breath in and out. Take time off those abdominals here. And then we're going to move into laying on the back next. Hands come down to face height. Push the upper body up. Come down onto the buttocks. Beautiful. So that's a really strong connection to the upper back that we've created. And now we want to transfer that connection to these abdominals. Laying on your back. You want to make sure you've got a nice strong neutral spine connection. And you've really thought about that soft draw down of the tailbone, the lumbar spine in neutral, and the T-zone connection switching on here. Now we're going to begin with our bent knee fallouts. Place the hands on the hip bones. Relax the shoulders. Now keeping the hips level, we're going to inhale as one knee drops out to the side. You want to keep the pelvis, the lumbar spine neutral, and then exhale, utilize the abdominals, drawing the ribs towards the hips to bring the leg back to center. Align it hip to knee and take it to the other side. Inhale, the leg drops out to the side. Pelvis not going with the leg here. On the exhale, utilize the abdominals, sink the ribs to the hips, draw the leg back to the center line. Good, inhale, leg drops out to the side. Exhale, knee comes back on in. Now, if this particular movement irritates any hip bursitis or any sciatica, you can take it into your leg slide instead. Keeping in that frontal plane of motion will detract from any impingement through the nerve or any bursitis issues that you have. You want to make sure the upper body is not taking any focus off of the T-zone that needs to be working. Good, let's make this our last one on each side. Inhale, the knee drops out to the side, the pelvic bones staying level to the ceiling. Exhale, utilize the abdominals, the ribs to hips to bring the leg in. One more. Good, as we come back to center, stay switched on. Arms now by your sides. Take a deep breath in, float the hands directly over the chest. Now let's look at our arm prep here. We're going to reach the arms away, so really, really extend the arm from armpit to fingertip. Try and lift the shoulders from the mat. Now imagine this particular motion is you resetting the shoulder girdle. On your next inward breath, draw the shoulder blades into the mat as you expand that rib cage. Now keeping the shoulders connected, draw the shoulders from the ears, exhale as you reach overhead, sink the rib cage in and down. Good, inhale, hands come back over chest. Externally elongate from armpit to fingertip, drawing the shoulder blades from the mat. A deep breath in, draw the shoulders back down as you expand the rib cage. On the exhale, keeping the shoulders gliding down your mat and away from your ears. Extend overhead, ribs sinking in and down. Inhale, hands over chest. Exhale, extend the arm from armpit to fingertip. Inhale into the lungs to draw the shoulder blades down, winding gently through the chest. Exhale to reach overhead, sink the ribs in and down. Good, inhale, hands over chest, let's do 3. Exhale, reach, really disconnect the shoulders. Inhale into the lungs, expand that lung tissue as you draw the shoulders down. Exhale to reach overhead to arm prep, sink the ribs in and down. Inhale, return the hands to the chest, 2 more. Exhale, reach. Inhale, shoulders down. Exhale, extend overhead, ribs sink in and down. Inhale, hands over chest. Last one, reach, exhale. Inhale, shoulders down. Exhale, reach overhead. Inhale, hands over chest. Rest the arms down, take a little break. We're going to go into our hundreds prep next. So that rib to hip connection is going to be utilized a little bit further. If you're non-curling, the hands can be on the mat. They can be creeping down the side of your hips and really drawing the ribs towards the hips, chin lightly tucked to chest to encourage the oblique connection without straining through the rectus abdominis or the pelvic floor. Float the arms over the chest, rest them by your sides if you need. Now the shoulders draw back into the mat. We want that connection of the upper body really concentrated here. With the T-zone switched on, the lumbar spine wants to remain in neutral with the tailbone drawing down as much as possible. Gently tuck your chin to chest to lengthen the back of your neck. On your exhale, you're going to sweep the ribs towards the hips to scoop the abdominals. Peel the upper body from the mat as you reach the hands past the hip bones, Flatten those abdominals. Good. Inhale, hands come back to the ceiling, upper body down. Shoulders back into the mat. Exhale to reach. Sweep the ribs towards the hips. Really extend those arms from armpit to fingertip to flatten the abdominals. Inhale, hands back to the ceiling. Exhale to curl. Sweeping ribs to hips to flatten the abdominals. Externally extend from armpit to fingertip to really challenge and scoop out the bowl. Inhale, hands to the ceiling. If you need to add on to this exercise, we can float one leg from the mat, knee alignment over hip. As you exhale to curl, sink the ribs in and down, scoop out the bowl of abdominals, reach hands past the hip bones, knee does not move towards you. Inhale, come back to head on the mat, fingers to the ceiling. Exhale to curl. Good, and inhale to lower. Lovely, exhale. And inhale. Lovely, place the foot down, exchange sides, or continue on with the feet on the mat. Exhale to curl. Scoop out the bowl of abdominals as you reach the hands past the hip bones. Really think about ribs to hips. Inhale to lower. Now the chin stays lightly tucked to chest. Don't try and pull your chin forwards of your sternum. Don't strain your neck. Knee stays aligned over hip. For those of you that are taking it into double leg tabletop, keeping a little part between the knees makes this a little bit more challenging, or pressing the knees together to keep you stable with both feet from the mat. Lovely, let's make this our final one. Exhale to curl. Inhale to lower. Now bring the feet back to the mat one at a time. Rest the arms by your side and have a break. Beautiful. Excellent. Make sure that the T-zone is resting when you are not working. We're going to move into single leg circle. We're going to do a little bit of lift and extend just to release a little bit of tension from the hip flexor itself. Rest the upper body back to the mat. Relax the shoulders from the ears. Now I want you to really encourage a very mindful connection to your neutral spine. So inhale, lift your pelvic floor. Think about that lumbar spine space here. Softly draw the tailbone down the mat. To encourage the exhale of the abdominals, think about the two hip bones narrowing at the front of the pelvis, flattening those abdominals to draw the hips together, not the lumbar spine to the mat. Now hands can remain on the hip bones if you need. Lift and extend on one side. Exhale to float the foot from the mat, knee lifts above the hip bone. Extend the leg from hip to toe, think about lengthening the fascia at the back of the knee. And then exhale to lower the leg, sink the rib towards the hip. Inhale to bend the knee over the hip, hold here. Extend the leg from hip to toe, really lengthen the back of the knee joint. Exhale to lower. Think about sinking ribs to hips on this lowering phase. Inhale to bend the knee over the hip. Press the supporting foot into the mat. Extend, exhale to lower. Good, inhale to bend knee over hip. Beautiful, extend, exhale to lower. Inhale, bend knee over hip. Let's go for two. Extend, open up the back of the knee. Exhale to lower. Really encourage the ribs to draw to the hips, not the lumbar spine to the mat. Inhale to bend the knee over the hip, our last one, extend, and exhale to lower. Good, inhale, bend the knee over the hip and hold. Hands on the thighs, keep the T-zone working. Externally rotate the whole thigh from the hip joint, knee staying over the hip. If you're going for bent knee circles, stay here, or if you need to extend the leg to make the exercise more challenging, really open up the back of the knee fascia. Think about keeping that external rotation all the way to the toe. Press the supporting foot into the mat. Gently begin to lower the leg. Exhale and out to the side. Inhale around and in, keeping hip bones level. Down, exhale around, inhale up and in. Start with a nice small circle. Keep that external rotation from the hip joint. Keep the hips level, the T-zone working with the neutral spine. The main focus should be that T-zone keeps the hips level as you draw the circle, from the thigh joint. Support this with your supporting base leg. Gently push it into the mat. Keep the knee aligned to the ceiling. We're going to reverse the circle after this one here. Come to the top of the circle, check the alignment, turn it out. Drop the leg out to the side and sweep it down. Exhale, inhale around and in. Out to the side and down, exhale, inhale around and in. Draw the femur into the hip joint, and if you've got any discomfort, bend the knee, come back to Bentley circle. Good, keep the hips level, the T-zone working. A larger circle makes the exercise more challenging, but be aware the focus is T-zone, hips level. Last two. Last one. Bring the foot back to the top of the circle, bring the knee back in alignment with the hip, bend to tabletop, place the foot down, let's change sides. Beautiful. So remember, draw the shoulder blades from the ears, switch on to the T-zone in the neutral spine, try and elongate the tailbone down to keep yourself in neutral. On the exhale, float the foot from the mat, knee lifting above the hip bone. Lift and extend for 6 on this side. Remember that you're extending from hip to toe, opening up the back of the knee first, and then exhaling to lower, ribs drawing towards the hips. Really challenge those abdominals, maintain neutral. Inhale, bend the knee over the hip. Extend from hip to toe, exhale to lower. Inhale, bend the knee over hip. Extend and exhale. Inhale. Beautiful. Opening up the back of the knee as we come into extension of the leg first, before we lower and challenge. Last one. Come back to your tabletop leg, knee alignment over hip. Hands on the thigh, manually rotate the whole thigh out from the hip joint. Keep the knee floating over that hip bone. Now if you want, extend the leg for straight leg circle. Make sure this external rotation is from hip to toe. Hands on the hip bones, let's draw the circle. Push the supporting leg into the mat. Sweep the leg down and out to the side, exhale, inhale around and in. Good, relax the upper body, relax the tension off the neck. Focus on the T-zone, hips level as you draw this circle. Start small. Encourage a larger circle if the T-zone connection is stable. Beautiful. Come back to Bentley circle if you wish. Push the base supporting leg into the mat, knee aligned to the ceiling. Keep the turn out. Last one before we reverse. Come back to the top of the circle, keep that turn out. Drop the leg out to the side and down, exhale, inhale around and in. Out to the side and down, exhale, inhale around and in. Start with a nice small circle, come back to Bentley circle if you need, or come back to the mat to rest if you're completely fatigued. Check in with your T-zone connection. You can utilize your fingers in that nice jelly belly, which should be turned on and not jelly here. Last two. Last one, come back to the top of the circle, realign the knee in line with the hips, tabletop, place the foot down and have a rest. Lovely. Let's finish with some lovely oblique curl. Now, if oblique curl is not for you and you're non-curling, pendulum could be a nice alternative for you. Be aware that you're rolling onto the side of the hip bone and you don't want to be rolling into any uncomfortable tissue, particularly if you have hip bursitis. If that exercise is not for you, you can come back to your lift and extend, or you can do your toe taps, 10 on each side. We're going to go into our oblique curl, hands behind the head, elbow wide, chest open. Now encourage the shoulders to draw down from the ears, make sure the neck is nice and long. You want to switch onto the T-zone in your neutral spine connection, and then have a little tuck of the chin to the chest, to float the head from the mat and rest it in your hands. On your next exhale curl, ribs glide towards the hips to scoop out the abdominals, peeling the upper body from the mat, but we want to make sure abdominals are flattening, lumbar spine is not compressed. Good, inhale, bring the chest back down. Exhale to curl, sink the ribs towards the hips to scoop out the abdominals, peeling the upper body off. Good, inhale to lower. Keep the Elbows out of your eye line. Don't encourage them to wrap around and force your head further from the mat. Keep that light tuck of chin to chest. Don't push your chin forwards. Lovely. The knees are non-moving, the hips are non-moving. Don't try and lift your hips off the mat. Beautiful. For those of you that want more challenge in this exercise, single leg tabletop could be where you go next. Sorry, we're going into oblique curl. So on the exhale as we curl, we're going to rotate across, armpit to the opposite hip bone. Inhale to unrotate and lower. Exhale to curl, exhale to rotate. Inhale and lower. Good, exhale. We want this rotation to be upper body over the lower body, not the lower body towards the upper body. So if you're in single leg tabletop, keep the knee alignment over the hip. Once you've done 4 or 5 on one side, alternate single leg on the opposite side. Exhale to curl, rotate across. Look at the armpit positioning over towards the opposite hip bone, not just the elbow, not me trying to pull my upper body via the neck. Exhale to curl and rotate. Inhale and lower. Good, keep it going. Exhale, rotate. Keeping the knees aligned to the ceiling, no movement through the pelvis. Once you've done 4 or 5 on each tabletop leg, you could have 4 or 5, let's say 4, 2 on each side, alternating in your double leg tabletop, but by all means come to the mat if you need a rest. Now it's important that this motion in double leg tabletop, the knees don't come towards you. You're not trying to lift the buttocks off the mat. We really want to work the upper body, oblique connection from rib to hip in this internal rotation. So don't try and fake it. Keep your range of motion connected to your deep center. The flattening abdominals, the ribs drawing towards the hips, the armpit drawing across the body to the opposite hip bone. Let's make this our last one. Come back to the mat, rest the upper body down. Knees can come to chest if you want to release the lumbar spine to the mat, or feet down one at a time to completely switch off. Beautiful. We're going to do a little bit of our pelvic curl here. We're going to look at our foot lift series to further work the obliques and now single side glutes. So we really want to start with a nice strong pelvic curl. Relax the arms by your side, release the shoulders to the mat. Loose tension through the neck. Switch on to T-zone and neutral spine. Heels can come a little bit closer to your buttocks if you wish. Take a deep breath in once T-zone switched on and begin to tilt the pelvis back on the soft exhale. Now as lumbar spine gently rests on the mat, we're squeezing our big glute max. We're going to push into our heels, roll the pelvis from the mat, and begin to roll the lumbar spine, the mid-back, as we come to rest onto the shoulders. Now at the top, take a deep breath in. Think about, are my glutes on, are my hamstrings working, are my ribs softly drawn down, so my obliques from rib to hip are still on. Take a deep exhale as you bring the rib cage back down slowly. One vertebrae at a time releases to the mat, and I'm concentrating on keeping my knees from flopping out to the side, and I'm not opening up through my adductors. Roll on down through the exhale, place the lumbar spine to the mat, pelvis down, and then inhale, come back to neutral. Good, on the exhale, tilt the pelvis back, lumbar spine on the mat, squeeze the big glutes, push into the heels, peel the pelvis off, utilize the hamstrings as you roll up through the spine. Resting on the shoulders, relax the neck. Take a deep breath in at the top, making sure you pause. Am I switched on? Are my ribs down? Am I still in neutral? Good, on the next exhale, sink the ribs back to the mat one at a time. Good, now as we release the vertebrae to the mat, we want to encourage the hamstrings, the glutes to stay on all the way through that rolling down phase. Coming back to neutral at the bottom, let's try one more before we add on. If this exercise is too much for your hamstrings, come back to your glute squeezes, 10 double, 10 single on each side, or you could do those Or you could lay on your stomach if that's too much on your lower back too. And you could do your glute squeezes from that position with the T-zone on. Now, let's add on to your pelvic curl. So roll on up to the top. Make sure that you're switched on. You've checked your alignment for your breath in. Place your hands underneath your glutes. Try and prevent your hands from taking the weight of your pelvis. Keep your hips floating. Now you're going to push into your right foot, and on the next exhale, lift your left heel from the mat. Check, are my hips staying level? Place the left heel down, inhale, push it into the mat, and on the exhale, lift the right heel from the mat. Check, are my hips staying level for your foot lifts? Now this could be your first level looking at your marching series in pelvic curl. We could go for 3 or 4 on one side before coming back to pelvic curl, inhaling, and then rolling down through the exhale to reset. Adding on could next be your full foot lifting from the mat. So as you roll on up, make sure you come back to thinking about a nice strong pelvic curl. Place the hands under the buttocks or the lower back or on the hips. Take a deep breath in, press that right foot into the mat, and on the exhale, lift the foot, left foot from the mat. Good, place the left foot down, inhale, press it into the mat deeply. On the exhale, lift the right foot. Check, are my hands taking the weight of my pelvis? Am I dropping it into the mat? You shouldn't be. Push into the mat through one foot to utilize the glute and hamstring connection as you lift the opposite leg. Good, again, going for 3 or 4 on one side before coming back to pelvic curl for your breath in and rolling down to reset. The next level, you could lift the knee to tabletop, knee alignment over hip in that march. As you roll on up, remember you're checking the alignment before you move. Hands resting on the hips or under the pelvis. Push the left foot into the mat, squeeze the left buttocks and the hamstring. Right foot lifts, right knee above pelvis. Good, place it down, push it into the mat, inhale, exhale, lift. Good, ribs don't want to lift on up, keep the ribs drawing towards the hips. Going for 3 or 4 leg marching on each side before coming back to the pelvic curl for a deep breath in and rolling down through the exhale to reset. Now that's quite a strong exercise. So you might choose to do 1 more repetition of either level that you're in or come back to normal pelvic curl. Have 1 or 2 reps just of pelvic curl just to come back to mobility and take tension off of the lower back, the glutes and the hamstrings. Once you finish, come back to the mat, take a nice deep breath in here. Let's do a nice stretch. We're going to come into a single leg tabletop position, so you want to make sure that you're switched on. Now you're going to float 1 foot from the mat, cross it over the supporting base leg. The opposite arm to the thigh that's now on top is going to rest on the outside of the thigh joint just above the knee. Take a deep breath in and out here. Opposite arm, rest out to the side, palm facing up. On your next exhale, you're going to pull that top thigh over your body. Rotate your head away from that rotating thigh. Look out your outstretched arm resting on the mat and take a deep breath in and out. Now this is a side thigh stretch, abductor into the side of the hip pocket and into the lower part of the lats. It is rotation, so you want to breathe in and out deeply here. Enjoy the stretch. If there's pain or discomfort, you can come out of the stretch at any time. With every deep exhale, you can concentrate on drawing the side of the shin towards the mat, relaxing through the upper body and the shoulders on the deep inhale. Let's take 2 long deep breaths in and out. Last one. Now, utilizing the abdominals, draw the hips back to the mat gently. Let's take it into our glute stretch. So uncross that top thigh. Now rest the ankle on the supporting thigh here. Take a deep breath in. Same side thigh that's crossed over on top, same side arm, is going to begin to push the knee away into your figure 4 PNF glute stretch. Push, push, push. Use 50% of your max strength. Deep breath in and out here. This could be where you remain for the remainder of the stretch. If you want to make the stretch bigger, after you've held that nice push away for at least 3 or 4 breaths, the other arm can reach around the side of the thigh, grasp hold of the thigh here On a deep exhale, scoop the abdominals, draw the tailbone down, and now draw this knee towards the chest. Pull it in, push the outer knee away. Keep your push and pull active through the arms. Breathe in and out deeply into this nice glute and hip stretch. Let's hold this for 4 long deep breaths in and out before we exchange. Inhale deeply, exhale completely. Really think about utilizing the push and pull of the arms. Relax the tension off the neck and shoulders. Breathe. Good. Think about what you're stretching, the glute and your hip of that externally rotated thigh. Breathe in and out nice and deeply. Last one. Let's return the foot to the mat. Let's uncross the legs. Let's take it to the opposite side. Switching on, let's come to single leg tabletop. Let's cross the thigh over the supporting base leg. Opposite arm is going to rest onto the top of that thigh. Other arm out to the side, palm facing up. Deep breath in and out here. Relax the tension off the neck. And on the next exhale, let's pull this thigh over the body. We're going to turn the eye line to look at that outstretched palm. And we're going to breathe in and out nice and deeply. Good. Every exhale, let's try and draw the inside or the side of the shin towards the mat here. Relax the tension off the neck with every inhale. Good. Last breath in and out before we bring the pelvis back to the mat. Good. Gently bring the hips back to the mat slowly. This top thigh is now going to shuffle into the 4-point stretch. So we're going to uncross the leg, place the ankle on the supporting thigh. Same side hands as that outside thigh, now pushing it away. We're looking to add a little bit of pressure through the arm up to 50% of your max strength. Push, push, push. Breathe in and out nice and deeply. This could be where you remain for this part of the stretch on this side, particularly if you're quite tight through that sciatic nerve section in the piriformis. Deep breath in and out. Now to encourage the stretch to become larger, the other hand wraps around the outside of the thigh of the base leg. On a deep exhale, that's a scoop and a draw down of the tailbone. We want to lift the thigh towards us, drawing the knee to the chest. Push and pull here. Breathe in and out deeply. Good. Make sure you're balancing that push and pull between the arms. Relax the shoulders and the neck. Breathe, inhale and exhale. And focus on what you're stretching. The side of the hip, the glute. Good. This part of the stretch is 4 or 5 breaths long. 2 more. Last one. Let's gently return the foot to the mat. Let's uncross the legs. Squeeze the inner thighs, roll onto the side. Push ourselves up to seated to finish. Good job. Beautiful work. So if you'd like, I would encourage you to do a nice chest stretch after this class. You can find my standing pec stretch in my stretch singles on my YouTube channel, or I'd encourage you to do a nice shoulder stretch too, if you felt the upper body was quite tight from the workout today. Have a good week. I'll see you next week.